Jungle Punk American. That's the defiant, adolescent, and self-reclamatory title I tell people I am and have tattooed onto my sense of self. Jungle comes from Jungle Asian, coined by Viet comedian Ali Wong to paint a funny, endearing, and mostly harmless idea of Southeast Asian peoples. The punk part comes from my aspirations to the punk ethos and spirit of failing fast, learning hard, staying scrappy around mortal costs and possessions, and keeping your voice and feelings raw as you dance and make art with your flirty yet brooding shadow self. I follow these tenets in the many things I do. I have a politically leftist, multi-melanated, grain-pushing podcast called Glamump. I am an attention-yanking stage fiend in my music and performance life, even as a self-styled, not formally trained art doer. On my journey to fully grounding myself into music as my engine of choice for making creative sense of the world's rich and electric chaos, I can say I owe the sustained momentum in my creative journey to spaces like BIPOC Improv Jam at Minneapolis' Huge Theater and Monkey Bear Harmolodic Workshop, where I studied puppetry through 2 BIPOC-centering intensive workshops, which also led me to the Driveway Tour at Open Eye Theater. I was invited to join Open Eye Theater for the summer Driveway Tour because Oan Vu, a local Viet puppeteer and friend, who was adapting this year's version of Open Eye's Driveway Tour show, The Amazing Cowboat, thought I would make a great fixture to the show, as she had adapted it to feature a Vietnamese boy and his Viet-speaking mother. Performing with my showmates Ty, Amber, and Dan has been a blast. Wherever we are performing, there are very few shows that don't throw some new challenge, big or small, into our plans and force us to adapt. Once every other show, I interact with people with different relationships to Vietnamness and Asianness, sharing their positive feelings about the representation in Cowboat. Even though puppetry isn't where I see myself long-term, I hope that my involvement can influence other BIPOC folks to boldly leap with uncompromising curiosity into different ways of expressing themselves. Puppetry fits within the punk ethos of uncompromising curiosity because punk is philosophy, attitude, and art making that prioritizes making opportunities out of taking everyday items and animating their potential into play and narrative action. You don't need pristine equipment to create. You don't need to have the latest, greatest tool to get started. It's all about this DIY punk ethos of asking, how can I get my voice out without letting others fill in the gaps about who I am? And speak my mind so others don't speak for me. It's the cathartic DIY spirit of punk that gives a supple muscle to art. Art that can be shared, stretched out, shaken up, and shows a way out of no way. I think part of my main goal in life is to get people to think and ask, what is this? And why is it like this? As far as those questions will take them. That's part of the punk ethos as well, to challenge ways of thinking fed to us before we could question our world. We already have what we need to do the work to remove what no longer works. It's a question of whether the art, food, shelter, living conditions, and communities surrounding us are giving us the sustained morale to believe that we already have what we need to get started. In podcasting, in improv, in puppetry, in punk rock, we find truth and connection whenever we have the courage to make it ourselves and with each other. I am Trevo, and I am involved.